What is the Hard Knocks news, Christopher Brockman? What do you got for me over there?
Well, according to our good friend Mike Florio, the Jets are bracing themselves for a situation where they are forced into doing Hard Knocks this year.
Bracing themselves.
As you know, they're one of the 4 teams that are, with the new parameters, eligible. Jets, Saints, Bears, Commanders. Pretty much all 4 have expressed that they don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. The Commanders, according to Mike Florio, would do it if forced upon. But
they all have to do it if forced upon.
I know, but they would kind of embrace it, whereas every other team would just kind of be like, "Ugh, you're here," kind of like Mike Mayock treated it.
Sorry,
Raiders
folks.
did it, but it seems like the Jets are clubhouse leader at this point.
Yeah. That's going to happen. It has to happen. It should happen. I know they don't want to. Look, coaches want to control the controllables. They don't want to have a camera crew, in the building, and it's as unobtrusive as intrusive can get. They're very good at this with NFL films. It's just the whole business of sneaking it, past the goalie. You pointed it out. Mayock was the goalie, and he sticked aside everything. He stood on his head like he was Dominik Hasek.
He wasn't even in that season.
Right, and that was when Antonio Brown was doing Antonio Brown things with his feet and his helmet and everything like that. And you remember the Raiders Hard Knocks? It was just tuning in to see what Brown was going to say, and then he hardly appeared in the episode.
And we got no Josh Jacobs. Remember, he barely was even in.
Yeah, it's kind of Jonathan Abram mostly.
So Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, seeing Breece Hall and whether he's coming back or not and on target. I know that they want to lie low. But this is what happens when you go and swing for the fences and get Aaron Rodgers. Are you kidding me? And I'm sure they could just basically tell Aaron, we'll see you from afar. And leave him alone. I mean, this is the way they set it up, where teams that don't make the playoffs for a certain amount of time and haven't done it for a certain amount of time
and don't have a new coach,
you are eligible to say you're it. And I'm sure the league heard from the Jets they don't want it and have done everything that they can to try and find someone else to do it. This is inevitable. I think the Jets are going to wind up doing it.
Also, Rich, the amount of eyes it brings, not only to just the Hard Knocks, right, but how invested are you after you've watched the season of Hard Knocks? You tend to pay attention to that team a little more as the season goes. I watched more Lions last year, basically because I felt loved their season. You kind of get drawn in with their players, so you tend to pay a little bit more attention to them too. So that just brings more eyes to you. Your product.
And I welcome you aboard the Jets bandwagon.
Oh, I never said bandwagon.
Well, I mean, you said that if there's a team that does Hard Knocks, it causes you to be more interested and root for them, and so that would be great.
That's not a bandwagon.
Come on board.
That just means I'll
come on board. The guy was a big Mike White fan, Look, you were.
I was.
You were the founding member of the Mike White.
I was just
fan club.
I was trying to prepare you for where we're at right now. That Zach was not going to be your quarterback, and you didn't want to hear it. So,
So you're saying if the Jets do Hard Knocks, you're going to become more of a Jet fan?
No,
You'll be more interested in the Jets. You'll be following them.
I'll pay a
See
little
how
bit
he's
more
backtracking
attention.
now that I pointed out, I was such a big Lion fan.
I didn't say
it's great.
That doesn't mean I'm going to jump on their bandwagon. It means I won't turn the channel when their games come.
There's only one bandwagon you're on.
Yeah,
in the NFL season, of course.
That's it.
I get it.
Last year watching the Lions, how many people took Amon-Ra St. Brown earlier in their fantasy draft because they saw it on Hard Knocks, and you fall in love with the story. You see his dad in the weight room with them.
Like Jamal Williams. How are you not a fan of that dude?
Yeah,
exactly. And I'm sure there are many members of the Jets, many are unfamiliar with, that would
same deal.
Fall up right.
Absolutely.
But with Rodgers needing his space and the Jets wanting to give him his space because he's about to have more eyes on him than ever before, with all due respect to Green Bay Packer fans, and I understand how rabid Cheesehead Nation is, and I get it. I'm talking about local news coverage. It's going to be intense. So why do you need an extra 4 weeks of 5 weeks of intensity? I understand what they're trying to do. Everybody's trying to prepare under the radar. They're not asking to thump their chest, look at us. I understand they don't want that. There's going to be enough pressure. As I said, it's the most pressure-packed situation, I believe, of any team in the NFL this year. The Jets have this year for Aaron Rodgers, and maybe no other. This is their best team they've had in a long time that Rodgers makes that much better. They want to be completely under the radar screen. I don't believe they will have that luxury. Because it's not just Rodgers. I want to know about Breece Hall. They also don't want a front row seat to Quinnen Williams, maybe having to hold out or not. They got to get him done. There's a lot for them to do without every single week HBO having the latest.
You personally, as a Jets fan, take away your profession.
Yes.
As a Jets fan, would you want to see it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course I would.
And
I love Saleh, and I think Nathaniel Hackett, the couple times that I met him, he's a really, outgoing guy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You
tell the Jets tough. This is what's happening.
Well, they're gonna. I mean, it's inevitable. I guess they were knocking on other teams' doors saying, would you like to do it?
Volunteers.
Or the Lions to do it again?
Right.
No way.
No way.
They try to get volunteers. And the reason why they set this situation up and the membership voted for it is because there were no longer volunteers. No one's raising their hand saying, we'll take Hard Knocks. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.